army of eternity advances to the planet of Whitaker IV. Interstellar Republic of Worlds has dispatched Captain Quantum and the rocket reserve to aid them.
Whitaker IV is a map made for the production of the game Captain Quantum versus the Army of Eternity. I was the lead level designer on this project, and it was a unique opportunity for me to create an environment with specific mechanics in mind that our production team decided for this new game experience. For this video, I would like to share my thinking process on how I went about creating the space for our game. I viewed the game as a wave-based shooter that had increasingly difficult rounds. It featured a wide variety of enemy types that were trying to destroy generators protecting a farmhouse on the planet of Whitaker IV. I started the design process after grabbing reference material and studying our lead's concept art for the universe. I made a simple sketch of the environment to make the shooter seem like a simple tower defense game, with lanes that enemies could use to reach their objectives that the player could clearly see from a raised position. I made a simple gray level of this with the terrain editor in Unreal 4. Eventually, based on the feedback of the team, I was able to combine this idea and design with a setup that the actual producer had made for the level. This final sketch was then converted to a more detailed gray level, as it was going to become the structure of the whole map. The ultimate goal of the game was to protect the small settlement's generators, so I knew the best way to make the gameplay fun, varied, and upbeat was to keep the multiple paths I had from the initial design so that bots had a variety of ways to reach the player. This overview shows the bots' routes to each generator, which had been placed a short distance around the player. Their locations were set that way so that smart players can keep watch over multiple objectives if they make use of their full field of view. The extended sightline of the hill path gives the player time to plan his actions or deal with imminent threats while seeing what the upcoming obstacles are going to be and planning accordingly. It's essentially fast-paced time management that really gets the player's adrenaline going. The patch of trees and bushes in between the two long stretches of land was added to give the path to the right more cover, protecting the robots for a brief time. This also serves as a purpose of a visual break between the two lanes. The short path is designed to be a quick game changer that is something the player has to watch out for, especially in higher rounds. This path was designed to increase a sense of urgency, spawning bots that reach their objective very quickly. This keeps the pressure on the player, forcing them to be observant if they want to survive the round. Eventually, I got so far ahead in the development schedule that the decision was made to extend the level to a full 360 degrees around the player. This would increase the believability of the game world and add more factors in the gameplay. The second half of the map was then created by my design solely. It built off the base of the map I had already previously made, but it gave the enemies more ways to attack the generators. The second half of the map was made using repurposed assets from the first half, made by our modeling team and material artist. I was able to structure these elements in a new way, focusing on more clearly visible destruction in the environment. This also added 2 extra paths that the robots could attack the player from behind. This makes the player have to pay more attention to his or her surroundings. Ultimately, each route the robots can take to reach the player's position have minor differences in length. Smart players can use this to their advantage, focusing on enemies that are much closer to attacking the generators, and then attacking the enemies that are much farther away. Eventually, my build of the full level was completed, and after transferring it down the pipeline to the coders who needed it, I shifted my focus over to the game testing side of things. I kept notes as I did this, prioritizing the larger game breaking issues, and offering potential reasons why each one was occurring and how to possibly fix each concern. One of the larger issues that I discovered was that the round system skipped multiple waves occasionally when the player received multiple negative outcomes while in the resource allocation screen. I also requested a zoom function for the blaster that the captain used. This would allow the player to take better advantage of the extended sightlines I gave them for some of the bot routes. Here is a top-down view of the entire map. A lot of effort was put into each section as I created this space because I wanted to make it as immersive as possible while the player defended Whitaker IV from the approaching robot army. Overall, I'm pleased that the environment is both attractive to the eye and fulfills its job as being an appropriate setting for the type of gameplay that we hope to achieve when initially starting this project. Thank you for watching.